Hi everyone, let's talk about Lions of Lydia, which I just finished a full two-player playthrough for. You can see that linked in the description if you haven't seen it already. This video is just about what I think, if you're interested in all of that. Lions of Lydia. I think it's an absolutely fantastic engine-building game, kind of stripped down to its essence. It's such a simple game to learn. You know, the flow of the turn is entirely, especially at the start of the game when you don't have many cards, you've just got the one to start with. The whole flow of the turn. Draw a meeple, do something with it, one of the four gates, or in the middle to build and then develop, but you're not going to do that at the start, so pick one of the gates, determine which resources you're going to get, guide it a little bit at the start based on the player colour that you are, and you're going to get bonuses from, I've got this card, so I want to go to the yellow gate so I can get this extra yellow. But depending where you are in the turn order and where everyone else has gone in those gates, even in the first turn, it might be a bit more of a decision for you as to where you want to go to get the most resources. And you can kind of work out that even with the number of cards that there are, like in a two-player game, all of these cards weren't in it. You can see in your configuration which colours might be the strongest, which it's the best to gather for the costs of the cards, which it's the best to get the meeples for to try and get the rewards from those cards, and then look at which purples have come out that are going to reward you for doing these various things, but you're not necessarily going to get those. It's all a kind of a tense race between these things because you want to build the gates up. Ideally, you would like to go there with loads of different colours of merchants to gradually get more and more resources, and then go there finally with a pair to get a ridiculous amount, and then the pair goes back always. So it's always this kind of ebb and flow. You want to build these gates up, but as you're doing that, someone else, depending on what they draw on their turn, might just go there to take advantage of just a great amount of resources. And depending on whether, you know, the artisans are out there that are a mini expansion that can let you copy the colour of a meeple, or the king is out there that just makes a gate more attractive, and then you've got the decision if you've taken advantage of the king to place it on another gate, which one is going to be maybe somewhere you want to go next time, or trying to work out where are other players not going to go, so I can try and take advantage of this again, or at least not put it somewhere that is going to trigger a load of bonuses for someone. So yeah, just the basic game without any of this turned on is just a really fantastic experience, really fast playing. As I said, really simple to get into. As you start to build up these, you probably won't get as many as as this, but it depends on your player count as well. There are a few more silver cards out. If you're not playing with two players, there's 4 more silver cards out in there. But generally, this is, you know, sort of obscured by me, but this is the number of cards that will be out in your game. And so that is a thing as well. You are limited by your influence. Do you want to keep developing cards so the cards you've got are even better? Or do you want to, if you've increased your influence enough, try and get more cards so that you have either more powerful bonuses, just build them up, so sending a particular colour to a particular gate is just going to give you 6 resources and let you trigger this bonus every time. Or you don't necessarily need that. You can be clever about it and just get to 6 of a resource, and then, okay, I'm going to develop, spend a load of other resources, but I'm just going to spend 1 yellow, because then I just need to generate 1 more to get that bonus again, and keep bouncing around this kind of limit of it, and keep it happening again and again and again. And you might not necessarily need to build up loads of resources to be developing these cards, because this can be done every single time. You'll want to increase your influence at least a bit, to be able to have more than, you know, I don't know that you can win the game with just 3 developed cards, no matter how good they are, because one of them's going to be that starting card. So you're going to want to be doing it a little bit, but it can be a fantastic bonus getting the develop triggering all of the time. But then it's 18 points, and you can use a resource as a complete wild card in there as well. And then you've got the coins that are a wild card in themselves, but don't really come into the game that early on. They come as we start to get a bit of influence and get to this stage. You unlock a Lydian merchant, the gold meeples. And every time someone buys a gold card, it unlocks one into the fountain as well. So they gradually get brought into the game and then let you sell those resources for coins. And that gives you way more options as well. But also, you're kind of thinking that as great as these are to spend in resources, this could be up to 12 points in front of me. But then the race to do all of this is that only the person that triggers the end of the game has their coins worth anything at the end? So you are always, as in loads of games, you're trying to anticipate how much time you've got left, trying to measure how many developed cards everyone else has got and how quickly they're going to be able to do it. How much time have you got to keep crafting your engine? Should you be developing things? Should you be getting resources so you can end up with all of these things? Even if you don't end the game, can you use your coins to develop a load in your last turn, because everyone gets one more turn, because you know that these are worth nothing? But yeah, it can be it can just be that you are stuck if you haven't anticipated the end of that game right. So it can be punishing, if you've just really geared up for that big 12-point end and you just hadn't anticipated the game ending underneath you. It's just something that can happen, because it might be in someone else's interests to end that game, because they can see that, well, I'm in kind of a good position, just going to have to hope I have enough points to end this game. But yeah, you could never quite know what's going to happen in it. So just the base game is great as it is, but then it comes with 8 different modules. So if you saw the playthrough, it had 4 of those turned on. And yes, some of the modules are just, that's a nice little optional extra. Some of them, I think, just they add way more kind of variety and choice to the game. Like the courtyard here, starting out with an extra meeple of your player board's colour on there, and then every turn, it sometimes can be frustrating that you're desperately trying to find this particular merchant and it just won't come out of your bag. You can of course try and load up your bag with loads of that colour, but it's great for maybe when that colour comes out and the opportunity isn't quite there yet, putting them in your courtyard and just waiting for that perfect turn to come along, because any turn you can just draw from your bag and think, I don't want that one, I want the one in the courtyard instead. So they swap over and you have a little bit more choice over what you can do and can save up for that really big turn that you might be looking forward to. I love the Royal Architects, because rather than just having to choose from one area, you do have to wait until the Lydian merchants, the gold ones, are out there. But if you use those to build, it's just an extra thing that they can do. They are really powerful for getting out at these gates, especially if you've got gold cards and you're really good at producing a particular resource, because you can sell it all for gold. And the rule that you have to spend all of your coins is a nice little twist on it as well. But then you would want to spend them all, because it's as good as having those resources, unless I suppose you've got cards that particularly want you to have that resource, but you don't have to sell any. Anyway, the Royal Architects kind of open it up, give you another use for those gold meeples, but let you go from 2 different areas, buy from 2 different areas at once, and you can buy as many cards as you like if you have saved up properly for it. The Chariot Race is probably my favourite thing, because it adds a bit of an extra consideration for resources that you want to keep. So as well as trying to look for these cards, as pairs of meeples get put into the centre, instead of them just being put in there, like in the standard game, one of them goes in the fountain and one of them goes over to the chariot races, and it's building a kind of shopping list of resources you want to save for when that third meeple is put there. So, okay, if I spend a green, a red, and a blue now, I can get an influence, which otherwise I need to get 6 of a resource and give up a free develop, which could be 3 coins or 3 resources I'm not great at producing anymore. So it's a really nice extra option, or just spending a couple to get 3 coins. It's gaining you a resource, 2 resources for 3, and they're wild resources, and maybe they're worth a point to you. And just loads of things like that. Some are just nice little extras, like there's fountain cards that can earn you some more coins, but it's just 1 more card in each of the sections. It's a nice thing to have on there. The king is great at making some gates more attractive, and you've got to decide where he goes and stuff. Yeah, it's. I wonder, like, the rulebook does recommend you just playing with 4. I wonder if you could just throw them all on, because they are all just like little bits of extra complexity. I don't know that even turning them all on would. I think you can't turn them all on, because there are some tiles that are for one expansion or the other. I won't grab that yet. They're in a bag somewhere. But yeah, if you could play with like 7 of the expansions on. I haven't tried that yet, but tried with various combinations. Really like changing it up. The core thing is still the same, but I like the extra twist, the extra nudges it in a certain direction, that maybe you want to spend your gold, your Lydian merchant for this instead. Maybe you want to get a pair, even if this gate isn't that profitable for you, maybe you want to get the final merchant in there because you have the right combination and no one else does to be able to get the influence in that. Or you just want the decider so that because you have the resources right now, so you want it to happen rather than you spending them and then it happens when you can't afford. Yeah, chariot race is great basically. But yeah, love Lions of Lydia. Hopefully watch the playthrough and find out for yourself whether it would be for you. If you'd like to see more playthroughs, hundreds on this channel. If you would like there to be hundreds more, there's a Patreon, patreon.com/slickerdrips. Join the Discord, vote on videos and stuff, but mainly keep all of this happening. Thank you to everyone that does. But whatever you would like to do, I will see you for the next game. Bye everyone.